Konnichiwa. Hello, members of the RSA at your AGM. I'm Andrew Work, the Executive Director of the Self-Storage Association Asia. Yoshida-san asked me to say a few words, and of course, anything Yoshida-san wants, I'm happy to do for him. So, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update as to what is happening across Asia and what is happening with the association. So, let's get started. First up, like Godzilla -1 and Shohei Ohtani, Japanese self-storage is being noticed by people around the world. Some of the services you pioneered in Asia, like robot-driven safety deposit boxes, have been adopted by operators in other parts of Asia. For example, Store Friendly is the first to have the robot safety deposit boxes in Hong Kong and Singapore. Now, we're aiming to bring more of that Japanese innovation to the world by bringing the world to Tokyo. We are currently doing the research to hopefully have our next expo in Japan in May 2025, and we'll be happy to see the latest and greatest from Japan. So looking around the region, things are going pretty well. One of the exciting things is the adoption of electronic locks is being picked up by the more technology-savvy operators in the region. What they are finding is that customers really love it, and they are willing to pay a premium. That is especially true for business customers who, when they combine the electronic locks with an app that people have on their phones, they can use it to manage their distribution and access in creative ways. And of course, business customers typically pay more. Dynamic pricing is also being adopted by the bigger, more professional operators who have the data to feed into the system. I know that's also true in Japan, so that's another exciting innovation. Looking at specific areas, starting in Hong Kong, the arrival of institutional money has allowed for operators to buy entire buildings, which in Hong Kong can be anywhere from 80 to 150 million US dollars. This way they can control the entire customer experience, and they've also got big marketing budgets to get behind it. Now, this new capacity has resulted in some pressure on prices, but we think in time occupancies will come back up and in these new facilities, and then prices will stabilize. Some of the smaller operators, if they're not very professionally run, are going to get squeezed, and some may exit the market. In Singapore, the government is having a rethink about the industry, and we are currently negotiating with them on some issues, and hopefully once we get past that, we will be able to grow again. The demand is going up, but the supply is not, so prices. So hopefully we'll get past that and operators will be expanding once more. Looking at other areas, China is very interesting. It's having a bit of a boom right now that I think caught some people unawares. A lot of it is by Hong Kong entrepreneurs who've moved into China and are building their businesses there. We had, for the first time at our expo, a representative from the China Association of Warehousing and Distribution, and he is working full-time on a subsector just for the self-storage industry. He'll hopefully be joining us in Japan next year, so you'll get a chance to meet with him then. Korea is another country that is having a bit of a boom. Some of the companies are using the crowdfunding model pioneered in Japan, and we're going to wait and see how that turns out in terms of investment and in terms of quality service to customers. Thailand is interesting. There's been a lot of investment mostly from domestic transportation logistics companies. One company, iStore, has listed on the junior board of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, and they've grown very quickly and are really aiming to become a dominant national brand. Malaysia has started picking up in terms of new stores opening. Vietnam is also exciting, where we used to just have 2 members. There are now 5 companies operating, including some that have come from Hong Kong, like Cube Storage has just invested into that market, putting them now in Hong Kong, Malaysia, UK, and now Vietnam. So exciting things are happening. Taiwan is very much a steady as you go market, as is India. Perhaps even more exciting is West Asia. We have members in Jordan and Dubai, and they're looking to expand into other countries in the region. If you were at our expo, you probably noticed the Saudi Arabians in their traditional garb, bringing a little exotic glamour to the event. So speaking of the expo, we had a lot of Japan content in the last one in Hong Kong, and people were excited to have it. Yoshida-san's great market update. Marino Komeda, your superstar, came to Hong Kong and presented some of the innovations that they are doing at Sumali, which is a Mitsubishi company. We haven't seen ozone-free storage anywhere outside of Japan yet, but I'm sure somebody's going to pick up on it. We had an exciting Japan investment panel led by Dan Morisaku of Ichigo. I have to have a big shout out in particular to Nishizawa-san of AreaLink and Okumura-san from Japan Trunk Room, who really brought the creative side of Japan into the mix with the robes and the Mount Fuji heads. Everybody loved it and thought it was the bomb. So I also have to mention at the expo, we have the Self-Storage Awards Asia, in which case a lot of Japanese companies were big winners, including Curas, Sumali, and Hello Storage. Now, we presented the awards at a black tie gala, kind of like the Oscars or the Japan Academy Awards. So who knows? Maybe next year we can get Shinji Hattori or Yukino Kishi to come and host the event. Could happen. So that's the latest from Hong Kong and the rest of Asia beyond Japan's shores. If you travel, please let us know. We've organized site visits for visiting RSA members, whether they come to Hong Kong or Singapore. We're happy to see you. Please check out our online magazine, Store Boss, which now has Japanese content. We put the cover stories in Japanese, and there's some, hopefully you can learn something, because SSAA members and RSA members are the best in the business because we are always trying to learn, innovate, and improve our businesses and services to our customers. So that's it from Hong Kong right now and the rest of Asia. Domo arigato and sayonara. See you, RSA.